we all been viewing the news. Hopefully we have been viewing the news. As far as Miss K Jackson being a Supreme Court justice representative, what does that mean for you ladies to see an African American woman being in that position in the United States?
As for me, being that I'm on the, I don't want to say younger side, but growing up, you never saw Black women do so many things in like the US. You seen white men, you never seen Black women. So to see a Black woman actually, you know what I'm saying, make it is like you could do anything. This basically proves that nothing can stop you. Not race, not the fact that you're a woman, not anything. Now they did put some hurdles in front of her,
Yeah.
some big hurdles. But the fact that she proceeded and didn't give up and let them see her, you know what I'm saying, cry or crumble, because if it was me, I'd have just ran, cried my heart out the way they was dogging her. So kudos to her.
To piggyback on Brittany, she it's incredible to see a Black female in that stature, the highest level. When we talk about courts in the United States, there's no higher that you can go. So, you know, I work with young kids, and I could just having conversations with them, they mention her, they talk about her, they have someone to look forward to when they're in school. You know, when you're doing your Black History, Women's History Month, or your role model, you can now look up to a woman like her in one of our justices and talk about what she means to you. And as women, as Black women, we'll have a lot of hurdles that we'll face in society, in our profession. But because she made it, it gives us the reason to say, you know what, because she made it, we could actually make it. And who's to say, you know, she, especially being in front of the Senate, yes, she didn't show any sort of emotions when it comes to females, what females are known for, crying and while facing adversity. But for us to see that, it pushes us. Well, it pushes me. I can speak for me. It pushes me to know that I could get to where I need to be, and being Black and being female is not the excuse that I could use.
Mm-hmm.
I think seeing her in that role is huge, just because it's been dominated by white men, and I feel like you have a lot of racist white men up there, and they have formulated opinions about Black people and just different things like that. So you have somebody who's up there that can relate.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a different perspective, and someone who might be a little more understanding or sympathetic to certain situations. Now, I'm not saying everybody, you know, you did wrong, whatever the case may be, but we at least have some representation in there now. And I think that speaks for just the whole Black community. I mean, of course, being a Black female is fantastic, but it also just, for us as Black people as a whole, to have some representation, it is just amazing. Like,
I completely agree with, all of you ladies' points. And piggybacking off of what Britt Brad said, as far as old white men, right? And I kind of talked about this a little bit on social media. I feel like we need to get out of that age, and I feel like as long as we stay within that perimeter, I feel like there's no room for growth, right? And do you guys feel like, is the U.S. ready for a woman president? Right? I'm not necessarily going to say a Black woman president, but one of the presidents, a nominee that does come to mind is Michelle Obama. Do you think America is ready for a woman president? And if not, when would we be ready for a woman president?
I read Michelle Obama book, and she is not running. She has no desires whatsoever. So, but someone just like her to run for president, I don't know. It's hard for me to answer that, because I think in society we stigmatize what to be the leader of one of the greatest nations in the world. So it's hard for me to answer that. Are we ready? Like, I mean, the world wasn't ready when President Barack Obama was voted into
Mhm.
office. You know, so who to say if it was a Hillary Clinton or a Michelle Obama? Who to say what does it mean to be ready? So it's hard for me to answer that. I don't know.
I feel like to put a woman in the seat of power, boy, you talking about hurdles. They're gonna look for any little transgression, like any reason to doggone boot her. Like, so honestly, I mean, who's to say we ready or not ready? You got the Queen Elizabeth, who's been queen for I don't know how long. To say a woman can't do it. It's just those hurdles and those roadblocks that's going to be coming into play if that comes to fruition. So I don't know. That's actually a very difficult question to answer.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure. I don't know how to answer that one either, because I feel like if we did get a female president, I think we would adapt the way like we did with Obama. You know, I mean, of course, people are going to hate it and people are going to try to attack her in every way, shape, or form. But I feel like this country would have no choice but to adapt and, you know what I mean, deal with it. So to say, are we ready? I don't know. But if it happens, I believe that we're going to move forward as usual. I mean, I think that's how everything else has been. I mean,
At that point, you ain't got no choice but to move
yeah, you
forward.
know what I mean? So
Yeah. And then to pose a question, not to attack you, to pose a question, are we ready? Like, why do we have to be ready for a female president? It could be the same, we could be under the same scrutiny, under the same policies, whether Republican rather than Democrat. It's to pose a question, are we ready? Then that sets the mindset of it's going to be different, and maybe it won't be different. And I think because she's put in that place, she doesn't want to be deemed as different because of being a female. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's gonna be, not to say it's gonna be worse, but maybe it's gonna be worse because we put so much pressure on females being leaders. And I think at that point, when we talk about the presidency, I think we should look at it more so being the president versus a female.
So you have a point to prove.
so when I say, are we ready? And I look at this from all factors, not necessarily just with the presidency. If you're talking about anything that's different, that's not the norm that you do. Typically, human beings, we overthink it, right? And a lot of times we feel like we get a little scared or we get a little timid because it may be something new. So that's why I asked the question, do we feel as though we're ready? Because you can need something, right? But are you actually ready to do what's required for it? And that's where I was coming from. So
I honestly think if we had a female president, I think the way that so I'm gonna just say for me, if I was to be able to lead that dream and be the president over the United States, I have so much. I think being that I'm a woman, I'm more passionate. I think outside the box, because some men are very tiny-minded men, and they don't think and look at things on a broad spectrum. So as a woman, it could go really good, but then too, it's like a double-edged sword. It could go really bad too, because when Obama got into office, everybody was like, he got in office and didn't accomplish anything. All the things that he accomplished, nobody ever knew about because nobody talked about it. And I see that being another issue for a woman. Everything that she accomplishes, nobody's ever going to talk about it because, number one, she's a woman. Nobody's going to talk about it, number one, because she might be Black or Asian descent or whatever the case may be. It's a lot that a woman will have to hold on her shoulders as president. So, I mean, she could do it. We bear children all the time. Why can't we run the United States of America?
That's true. That's true. That's true.